And it's brought to you by Houston Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of HBU. By Pepsi. Pepsi is the beverage provider of HBU athletics. By IBEW Local 716, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. And by Memorial Hermann, leading medicine, supporting the Huskies. Also by Firehouse Subs, Kolache Factory, HUB International, and Doubletree Sweets. Now let's head out to the stadium because the HBU Huskies are ready to play, and it's time.
Welcome into the campus on Fondren and Beechnut. Husky Stadium here on the campus of Houston Baptist University in Southwest Houston on what is finally a football weather Saturday evening. Hi, everybody. Welcome into the broadcast. My name is Lonnie King, and along with Tyler Boyd, we're happy to have you along for the ride tonight. You know, we've been kind of joking around with each other that there's a big game here in Houston tonight, and they're also playing a World Series game as well. But, Tyler, a big game here for both these two teams that are going to be facing off. The HBU Huskies and Northwestern State Demons are both teams that come in very hungry for a victory.
That's right, Lonnie. They're coming in hungry. They've been on some tough games this season. Both teams, you know, trying to find that winning column, and I think what's most important is just getting off to a fast start for both teams and then sustaining 4 quarters of football. But one team at the end of this game is going to have a winning locker room.
And sustaining is going to be the key word, I think, tonight, because Northwestern State is a team that's had trouble sustaining to the end of the fourth quarter in a couple of their most recent games. They played some tight games against some tough opponents, but have just failed to finish the games out and have lost close games late. The Huskies, on the other hand, have had sustaining any kind of offensive consistency. So it is going to be a matter of which team can get on track tonight.
And it may come down to the team who just wants it bad enough. And sometimes when you're in these losing slides and it's just week after week, who wants it bad enough for 4 quarters? And we're going to see that tonight. You're right. It is a beautiful October evening. We're even in long sleeves up here in the booth, and the fans are pumped up. So the football weather has finally made its way to Houston, Texas.
And we do want to welcome in the folks who are watching around the state or around the country or even around the world on the Southland Digital Network tonight. Thanks for being a part of this one. And you may be chuckling at us, but down here in Houston, we were up in Nacogdoches last weekend for an afternoon game between these HBU Huskies and the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks, and the temperature was up in the mid-90s, so this is a welcome relief this weekend.
No question about it. It seems like every time we would do a pregame show, we were talking about the heat and how long the athletes were out on the field warming up. No problem with that this week, however. Even the players themselves have long sleeves on. It's going to be a beautiful night for football.
Yeah, and you know, the coaches would never use it as an excuse, but specifically in the case of the HBU Huskies, who last week had their defense out on the field for 82 snaps, you know that it gets more difficult the warmer it is out there to stay out on the field for such a long time.
You're right, and then you're also dealing on the other side of it just of the wear and tear of the mid-season and trying to get to the second half of the season, maintaining your lineups, getting your body conditioned. And we'll see a little bit of everything tonight from these two teams, but I really think, Lonnie, on a nice night like it is tonight, both teams are going to come out and they're going to want that win because it's just a perfect night for football.
Quarterback play is going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on for both these teams tonight. For the visitors from Northwestern State, they're going to start Clay Holgerson, who's a junior from Katy High School, the Katy area. He's a transfer from Memphis and was a JUCO guy after leaving the University of Memphis, and comes in this year and has sparked them a little bit offensively when he's come in there. Now, they've relied on J.D. Almond a lot, but it's our understanding we're going to see Holgerson out the outset tonight, and they want to see what he can bring to them from the start tonight. For the HBU Huskies, Bailey Zappi, the true freshman from Victoria East, is going to be back out there to start the game. Huskies tried to give him a week off last week to rest a turf toe injury, but as things worked out, Andrew Haydet injured his shoulder. He is done for the season, and so the Huskies say that Zappi is better, and we expect to see him start this afternoon. But quarterback play is going to be, I think, one of the keys to watch this evening.
And that comes down to the consistency. You know, the penalties and the mistakes we've seen, at least on the Huskies side, you know, some of those 15-yard penalties get in the way of some of the drives. But both teams have been able to move the football all season long. It comes down to who can finish those drives on offense.
Got to visit with Patrick Netherton, the voice of NSU football, and it sounds like that a lot of the struggles that you and I have seen the Huskies face this year, he has seen Northwestern State face this season. Injuries have been a big part of the problem for them, just as they have been for the Huskies. And, you know, sometimes you get to this point in the season, and it's just a battle of attrition to try and get through not only the end of a game, but through the end of a schedule.
And you start seeing some names towards the end of the season that you didn't see earlier in the season. And so a lot of these players, you know, they can come up and surprise even the coaches. And, you know, why hadn't this guy been out there all season long? You know, we may see some of those performances here tonight because, Lonnie, in these lineups, there's going to be some opportunities for some players to make some impacts.
The officials for tonight's game are led by Dan Lewis, our lead referee. Umpire is David Reyes. Tony Wright is the head linesman. Justin Gregg will be the line judge. The field judge is Buddy Ferguson. Michael DeFee is the side judge. Back judge is Crystal Apelianese. And then the replay official is Marv LeBlanc. And the communicator on the sideline is Bill Stemmel. We're waiting on the captains for both these squads to meet out at the middle of the field. And the coin toss is about to take place. Captains for Northwestern State tonight are Lynn Clark, Eric Piccioni, and Malik Saunier. And for the Huskies, Garrett Dolan, Taylor Thompson, Christian Guzman, and Terrell Brown. Looking down at the sideline, Terrell Brown wears 36, and the numbers they're using tonight, I know it's not the case, but the numbers on the uniform tonight make it look like somebody's already ripped off part of Terrell Brown's 6 on the back of his jersey. Huskies head out onto the field. Temperature tonight in the Houston area is supposed to drop down into the 40s, and perhaps in some areas, I don't know if we'll see it here at the stadium or not, but down into the upper 30s.
And taking a look at the north end of the field here, Lonnie, the flags are whipping pretty good through the field. That will be interesting when we take a look at the passing game.
That's the head. That side's the tails. Jess Rogers is going to flip the coin for us. Wait. We're not ready. Northwest. The call is heads. The call is heads. And it is heads. All right, Northwestern won. They're going to defer. You want the ball. Which way do you want to kick it? All right, turn and face that direction. HBU will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
So there you hear it from Dan Lewis, the lead referee in tonight's contest. The Huskies will send the offense out onto the field first. We saw this against SFA last weekend, and obviously a different some changes to the cast of characters today, but the Huskies had a very effective opening drive, and they've had some effective opening drives in their games this year.
It was a quick start last week, and a big play in the first 2 minutes to Ethan Fry to open things up and put the points on the board right away, 7-0 against SFA. Now you got Bailey Zappi getting the start tonight. Like you said, Lonnie, he's been battling that turf toe, came into last week's game in the second half. Let's see what kind of start he gets off to tonight.
This is homecoming weekend here on the campus of HBU. And they're expecting a raucous crowd here tonight on homecoming weekend. Now, we're not sure what impact that little baseball game downtown may have on this tonight. But it'll be interesting to see. Huskies are in all blue today, blue jerseys, blue pants, blue helmets with the silver numbers and the orange trim. Northwestern State, the white helmets, white jerseys, purple pants with the purple numbers and letters on the jerseys and orange trim. And teeing it up is Eric Piccioni, senior from League City, a 5'11" kicker. And he's got it teed up on the near hash mark, and we are just about set to go. Huskies go 3 wide along the backside. Dennis Houston, James Brown, and Brandon Taylor back deep to return the opening kick. And it's a high end-over-end kick, and it's going to go out the back of the end zone, and the Huskies will set up shop 1st and 10 at their own 25 to get this one underway tonight. Bailey Zappi, the freshman from Victoria East, leads the Huskies out on offense. He's completed 113 of 199 passes for 1,094 yards this year and 1 touchdown. He has thrown 7 interceptions, though. He will start this possession with Terrence Peters as the running back and Mev Ideen as the H-back, offset to the left. Peters off the right shoulder of Zappi, who will work from the shotgun. Huskies will go with the tight end. Tight to the left side of the formation, handed off to Peters. He'll run left and finds not a lot of running room there. He's wrapped up right at about the 26-yard line after a 1-yard gain. Christian Bull, Krishard Bull, a senior outside linebacker, in to make the stop. 1 yard on the gain. It's 2nd down and 9. Handed off, Peters again. This time runs right, turns it back up, and again, not much there. Pretty good defense by the middle of the defensive front for Northwestern State. Give him a yard, it'll be 3rd and 8.
And Lonnie, we'll see that play a lot tonight. The Huskies like to stretch the defense with underneath handoffs, and it goes to the left, the right. They'll go to the far side of the field, the short side of the field. Be watching for that all night long.
4-receiver package on 3rd and long here. 2 receivers out to either side. Ball in between the hash marks. Zappi and company look to the near sideline for the signal. 3rd down and 8. Wants to throw. Looks right. Throws right. Has a receiver. It's caught. Turn it up the field across the 40, 50. And out of bounds. He stepped out back near the 40-yard line, but making the catch for the Huskies on that one was Corey Ceniceros, a 5'8" junior transfer from Cinco Ranch High School with his first reception of the year.
Well, what a play. It looked like he was just going to extend the ball to get to the 1st down, made somewhat of a move on the sideline, got down the field for a big gain.
1st and 10 at the 40. Handed off, Peters has a hole open up into the 2nd level, out across midfield into Northwestern State territory, down to the 46-yard line, and that'll be a 14-yard gain. And Huskies fans have not seen a lot of those this season, running-wise. 1st and 10, though, from the shotgun again. Handed off, Peters waits for the hold open. It does, and he's down inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. That's another 12-yard gain and another 1st down.
And they're going to keep the momentum here, Lonnie, as 2 first downs in a row.
Right back to the line of scrimmage. Give it to Peters a 3rd consecutive time, and the ball is on the floor. It's on the turf, still a scramble for it. I believe Northwestern State came up with it. As there's a scrum for the football. And coming out of the stack with it is Gavin Landry, or check it, no, that's Christian Blewett, a sophomore from Beaumont Westbrook High School, and a turnover by the Huskies. Well, and there's one of the bugaboos that have hurt the Huskies this season. turning the ball over.
Yeah, you see it there, a couple big first downs, and then puts the ball on the turf, and here goes the Demons to work here on offense for the first time in the game.
And out at quarterback to start this one is Clay Holgerson, the junior from Katy. Swings a pass out in a hurry to Bryson Bork. Bork makes a catch out across the 40. He goes to the 45-yard line. That'll be about a 7-yard gain on first down. And it'll bring up 2nd and 3. 12 and a half minutes to go, just underway here in the first quarter. Glad you're along for the ride tonight. Back to the line they come. Chris Jones is the running back off the right shoulder of Holgerson, who works from the shotgun. 4-man front for the Huskies. Wants to throw across the middle, has a receiver. It's caught, hit immediately, and dropped. After making the catch is Lucas Margan, the senior tight end from Morton, Mississippi. Check it, that was Cameron Lazar. Was that 86 or 85? It was Morgan who made the catch. And it's a first down right at midfield. Now we see a change at quarterback. Caleb Fletcher, the freshman from Mesquite Poteet High School. They've got a limited package for him. He'll run the option here, pitches it wide, and almost messed that one up. Chris Jones saved him on the pitch, but he's going to be wrapped up, strung out, and the play is whistled dead behind the line of scrimmage.
Now that's just a great play from the defensive back, getting off the block, understanding that the option was coming his direction and accounting for the pitch man there.
So we'll call it a loss of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 12 from the 48-yard line. Fletcher checks out, and Holgerson back in at quarterback, and he wants to throw on 2nd and long. Sets up a screen out in the flat to the receiver. Has a man, is complete. Check it, Jalen Watson, and he's down the sideline inside the 30 and bumped out of bounds at the 26. And just a little short slip screen turns into a big gain.
And it comes down to his receivers getting up the field and making some blocks on the Huskies and turns that one into a big play. So Northwestern State already starting to knock on the doors. They start here on this first down from the 26-yard line.
Watson with the reception. First down for the Demons. 10:40 and counting here in the first quarter of play. Handed off. It's going to be Jones, and he's hit in the backfield and dropped. Right there, I believe that was Caleb Johnson who got in there to make the hit for the Huskies. No, Quentin Peoples got in there for HBU and drops him. Quentin, a guy they've moved from linebacker down into the D-line spot because of all of the injuries that HBU has experienced this season on the defensive front. 2nd down and 10 from the 26-yard line. Wants to throw, looks left, throws that way, and intended for Lazar out in the flat, overthrown and incomplete.
Yeah, Lazar was out there on that wide side of the field, and really no one was out there on one-on-one coverage, but the ball was overthrown, brings up 3rd down.
So a big play in the drive here. Northwestern State forced a turnover on HBU's first possession of the ballgame. Now trying to drive it down into the red zone at the 26-yard line with the 3rd and 10. Motion from left to right from the slot receiver. He'll set up 3 receivers wide to the right side. Holgerson looks that way down the field. He throws. The coverage was good, though, by the Huskies. The intended receiver that time was Marquesian Chapman. But for the Huskies, Nick Smith had pretty good coverage that time.
Well, discussed earlier in the pregame, Lonnie, that wind is blowing slightly out of the north, so this is going to be in the back of the kicker here, which makes this a fairly, I wouldn't say fairly easy, but an easier field goal attempt.
And it's Piccioni who's out there to attempt a 43-yard kick, gets it away, has the length, and it is no good, wide to the left. So the Huskies defense holds, And they will take over, send the offense back out onto the field after the defensive stand. So both teams mount a little bit of a drive, keep the offense out there for a little while, but Northwestern State's defense forces a turnover. The HBU defense tightens up and forces a field goal attempt that is missed. So now here we go with round two.
Well, and if you're a Husky fan right now, you're excited about the run game. I mean, it ended in a fumble on the last drive, but 2 big first downs from Peters. Let's see if they go back to it.
They'll hand it off, and a mistake on the exchange again. Terrence Peters is upset. I don't know if he didn't like the way they meshed that time or if he's mad at himself, but Huskies are fortunate that he was able to fall on that one.
Yeah, it just didn't look like they were on the same page there. And now giving up some yards on first down, putting them in 2nd and long.
2nd down, a loss of 3 as Peters had to fall on it in the backfield. And Zappi from the shotgun with Peters off his left shoulder. Play fake to him, wants to throw, has Dennis Houston, the freshman from San Antonio, down the field, and at the 35-yard line makes a catch. He is hit immediately and dropped there by Ryan Reed, but very close to a first down. Pick up of 12 yards, and it's 3rd and 1.
Well, that took a long time to develop, but a good throw by Zappi. He stood in the pocket and delivered. Now here on a 3rd and 1. Let's see if they return to that run game with Peters.
Handed off, Terrence Peters up the middle. He got the yard and a couple of more. They're going to say he's down at the 37, but that's enough to move the chains, and the Huskies pick up their 4th first down of the game.
Well, again, Lonnie, I mean, the Huskies able to move the football even after that fumble there on first down to sustain this drive. So focusing on that theme of consistency here. Here we go on the first down, and you got to think they're going to try to establish this run game.
He'll swing and pass out to Peters. It's a lateral pass. We'll see how they mark that down in the scorebook, but it was a sideways pass. Peters made the catch, but he's dropped behind the line of scrimmage back at the 35-yard line. Over to make the hit was Nick Pirati, leading tackler on this team for Northwestern State. Their middle linebacker from Pacifica, California. 2nd down and 12. Huskies go with twins on either side, and we've got a whistle before the snap here. And this is likely going to back up HBU 5 yards.
False start. 74. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remain 2nd down.
So the penalty is on Kyle Tomase.
Well, and you lose a couple yards there on first down, and then you pick up the penalty there. So now you're in a situation where you're just trying to get half the yards back here on 2nd down.
And these first couple of drives have kind of been HBU season in a microcosm on offense. You either a turnover or penalties that have hurt you. 2nd and 17. Zappi looks short side, has a receiver. It's Isaiah Hall, makes the catch, turns it up out across the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage, and is out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 7 as they need to get out to the 47-yard line to keep this drive alive with 6:54 to go.
And that's a great play there by Zappi. He understood that he probably wasn't going to pick up the first down, but got back to the original line of scrimmage and then some. So a manageable 3rd down here for the Huskies.
Send Peters out of the backfield. Line up out wide to the right side. Look that way. Throw has Peters. It's caught across midfield down at the 49-yard line. That's going to be good enough for a first down.
Well, there was some zip on this ball. Peters catches it off his back shoulder and maintains possession while he's going to the ground. A great catch there from Terrence Peters.
Ryan Reed was in the vicinity, but Peters made the catch, and here's a handoff on first down. It's Peters again, straight up the hash marks this time and down to about the 46-yard line.
4-yard gain. Second down and 6.
They'll spot it at the 45. That'll be 4 yards on the carry. Second and 6 with 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter of play. No score on the board yet. Each team has had a possession. HBU with the ball for the second time. Zappi waits for the snap, handed off Peters, goes to the right, cuts it back up, and he's got a little bit of a hole and enough to dive forward. I think he's got another first down.
Oh, and that's what you like to see from Terrence Peters, getting up the field and then lunging across that first down marker to make sure that this drive just continues in the right direction. And Lonnie, the Demons on the outside coverage on defense look like they're matched up man-to-man. Let's see if Zappi tries to expose that.
He wants to throw. Pump fake now, looks back to the near side, flushed out of the pocket. He's going to have to tuck it under and run. He's run down from behind, and he gets forward for positive yards down to about the 36-yard line.
For the Huskies, second down.
And he showed a little mobility there. HBU fans are probably wondering how that foot is, but Zappi showed the ability to escape the traffic. Tremaine Whitley is the one who ran him down from behind and made the stop. But it's second down. We'll call it long 7 to go. Fake the handoff, wants to throw, hit from behind, and it's going to be picked off in midair. That's whether it's a fumble or an interception is basically a moot point, but another turnover forced by the Northwestern State defense.
And Zappi just didn't see it coming, came from the blind side, and whether they count that as an interception or a fumble, it falls right into Clark's hands there. And
Krishard Bull got in there and made the hit that separated him from the football. And the second turnover now by HBU in their first 2 possessions. So they've moved the ball well, just have not been able to hang on to it. Now here's a whistle before the snap by the Demons, and this is going to be a false start on Northwestern State.
70, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Jonathan Hubbard getting the start at left tackle today in place of Dustin Burns. Hubbard was, we understand, the starting tackle, and he's back out there healthy again. Here's a handoff to Jared West, who's checked in at running back. He tries to bounce it to the outside on the right side, and he's going to be stopped back at about the 37-yard line. That's going to be a loss of a yard, and it'll bring up second down and 16.
Well, that was one of those plays for the Huskies, putting the Demons in a second and long situation. Now the Demons split 3 receivers to the left side of the field.
Send Chapman in motion. Play fake, swing a pass, try to get it out to him, and tipped away by Kyle Bowling. The linebacker got out there and broke that up, and then almost came up with an interception.
Wow, what a great play from Kyle Bowling. Not only got off his block, but when he got off his block was able to get his hand up in the air and almost come up with the interception.
So now it'll be third down and 17, 3:49. The clock is stopped on the incomplete pass. Chapman was the intended receiver that time. He's lined up in the slot on the left side of the formation. Ball on the right hash mark, and Holgerson wants to throw. Pressure from the outside, and they set up a screen underneath to West. He turns it up across the 40, out to about the 45 before he's met by about 4 blue jerseys, and that'll be well short of the sticks, and so it'll be fourth down.
And that's about as good a job on the screenplay as you can do. There was just enough Huskies in the secondary to slow it down because they had so many yards till the line of gain. And now we're going to see a fourth down. And Lonnie, again, the wind at the back of the punter This one has a chance to get inside the 10.
And pressure comes up the middle. The kick away, though. And it's going to be aided by the wind and bound into the end zone off the toe of Parker Pastorello, sophomore from Mandeville, Louisiana. And the Huskies will set up shop 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Well, we're checking to see if we've got a timeout here, but none signaled, so we'll hang tight here. With 3 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. This has been a fast move. I probably just jinxed it there, but this has been a fast-moving first quarter.
Well, turning the ball over twice, the Huskies on their first 2 drives. They've been able to move the football, Lonnie, like they have all season long. Just getting on their side of the field has been the problem.
Zappi wants to throw, has Ethan Fry across the middle, avoids a couple of would-be tacklers, slips out across the 35 to the 37-yard line, and that's going to be good enough for a Huskies first down.
Well, and that's where Ethan Fry is just electric, and when he starts to make those lateral moves, it gets exciting.
Had a big catch early last week and then was basically shut out. Here's Zappi. Going to have to improvise on the run. He's out across midfield, still on his feet, and going to be wrestled out of bounds on the near sideline inside the 40. Well, they're going to say he stepped out at the 42-yard line on his own before he was wrapped up by Austin Balthazar. But a big gain.
Yeah, I think Zappi was surprised he didn't run out of room here. He just kept going down the sideline for a big gain there for the Huskies.
1st and 10. Back on the Northwestern State side of the 50 as we roll down toward the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter of play. Zappi with James Brown out there at running back. The freshman gets a handoff, runs left. He's inside the 40, down to about the 38. That's going to be about a 4-yard pickup on first down. So now we've seen Peters and B.J. Kelly, and now the freshman, James Brown. 3 running backs already through the first 3 series for the Huskies. Give it to Brown again. Runs left again. And this time he's dropped at about the 35-yard line. There to make the stop is Peyton Guidry, a linebacker from Cutoff, Louisiana.
Well, and Brown doing a good job there. 2 handoffs in a row. And the offensive line of the Huskies, we've seen some push actually in this game that we haven't seen in the last couple of weeks.
3rd down and 3 from the 35-yard line. Zappi on the quarterback keeper. He's going to pick up the first down, slides down inside the 30. They'll spot it right at the 30-yard line. Zappi found just enough of a lane to open up to get him the first down yardage he needed.
Well, Northwestern State brought the pressure, and Zappi really couldn't do anything but step up into the pocket, and no one was home. Picks up the first down, and probably the Husky fans like to see Zappi going into a slide there at the end of that play.
1st down and 10 right at the 30-yard line. Handed off to Brown. Brown looks for a hole to open up, finds it on the right side of the line, gets down inside the 30 to about the 27. We'll call it, well, they'll give him the 26. We'll call it a 4-yard gain. So we roll down toward the final 30 seconds of the first quarter here. Play clock is about 5 seconds ahead of the game clock, so we will see one more snap here before the end of the quarter. No score on the board yet, though, through the first almost 15 minutes of this game. Zappi wants to throw. He's going to be hit and dropped in the backfield, though. A sack by the Demons, and see who that is that got in there to drop him for Northwestern State. Pressure just straight up the gut, and that looks like Jalen Sangster, I believe. Was that 90 who got in there? Sangster gets in there and drops him. And that will bring an end to the first quarter of play. So 15 minutes in the books. Neither team has been able to dent the scoreboard. Take a timeout. Come back with the second quarter on the Husky Sports Network and the Southland Digital Network.
Are you a graduate of Houston Baptist?
benefit from the same quality, higher education Houston Baptist University has been providing for years. Visit hbuonline.com to learn more.
Let Houston Federal Credit Union be there for all the stages of your life. Take advantage of our products and services to help you with all your financial milestones, such as purchasing a car, buying.
Back here at Husky Stadium, second quarter about to get underway. HBU with the football. No score in the first 15 minutes of play. Lonnie King, Tyler Boyd along with you. And the Huskies with the football on third down to start the quarter, and there's pressure in the backfield, and the ball is loose again, and this is going to be another turnover as Zappi is separated from the football, and it's recovered by the Demons. Now there is a flag on the field at the 28-yard line. We'll see what this is about, but it was well away from the play. And this will be interesting to sort out. But Tyler, the Huskies have just had a huge problem hanging on to the football tonight. Getting in there to make the hit was Peyton Guidry again. He forced the fumble.
Recovered by Northwestern State. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 71 of the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty, first down. Number 71's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game.
Well, and when he says of the offense, he's talking about the offense that was on the field at the time, and that was HBU. So it's a Huskies penalty, and that's going to add 15 yards on for Northwestern State. So they're going to start this possession on HBU's side of the 50 at the 44-yard line.
Just 3 turnovers in the row for the Huskies with the penalty.
Here's Holgerson, wants to throw on the first snap, has a receiver. It is caught on the near sideline, and down inside the 30 to about the 26 is Quan Adkins. Adkins is a junior. He's a baseball player on this Northwestern State team, the center fielder for him, but he's a big, strong-looking receiver, and he makes the catch there and has a first down at the 27.
A great throw right there, putting the ball over the linebacker's head.
And now checking back in is Fletcher, and he will hand off, and that carry will belong to Stadford Anderson, a 6'1 freshman from Glen Oaks High School in Baton Rouge. He carries it down inside the 25 to the 22. That's a 5-yard gain, and it's going to be 2nd and 5. And Fletcher is going to stay out there at quarterback with Anderson as his running back off his left shoulder. 3 receivers out to the left side, hand it to him again, and he tries to dive forward. This time tripped up as he goes. Garrett Dolan right there in the middle to wrap him up after about a 2 or 3 yard gain. They give him the 19-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Brings up a 3rd down and 2.
And Garrett Dolan, one of those guys that by the end of the season is just about where he's going to fall within the stats, but he is one of the leading tacklers in the nation. We'll see if they continue to run inside towards Dolan.
Big 3rd down play here for both these sides. Power formation, handed off. Anderson tries to take it up the gut. Not much there. I don't think he got it. And from the look of the spot, there's really no gain there at all, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
And 1.
Well, this will be an interesting decision. You're on the road. If you're Northwestern State, you're trying to put some pressure on the Huskies, and you missed a field goal earlier. Do you decide to go for it here?
And now you would be kicking into the wind, and had the wind at your back earlier in the first quarter, missed on a 43-yard attempt. So it looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th down, and Jay Thomas goes to the officials and asks for a timeout. So we've got a timeout on the field with 12:35 to go. We'll take a break here on the Husky Sports Network and the Southland Digital Network.
What if I told you there was a school that created classes around your schedule? Houston Baptist University now has online programs that allow you to maintain your current lifestyle while earning the degree you've always wanted. Whether you are completing a degree you started previously or just starting, HBU Online is here to serve you and help you achieve your goals. Head to hbuonline.com to find the program that is right for you.
Back here at Husky Stadium, 12:35 to go in the second quarter, and after some thought during the timeout, Jay Thomas has sent his field goal unit out there, and Eric Piccioni is going to attempt what will be about a 38-yard field goal. This one's got the leg, and it is no good again, wide to the left.
Well, some pressure there by the Huskies. It almost looked like they were going to get to the field goal kicker, but Northwestern State decides that they want to go with another field goal attempt. And Lonnie, we'll see how that starts to play out for Northwestern State and the strategy of this football game. If they get down to their end of the field and cannot score, will they start to go for it on fourth down?
It'll be interesting to watch. Now, the one thing they've got going for them is that either end of the field, Piccioni has seemed to have plenty of leg on those kicks.
Yep,
so
no question. With the win, without the win, really it's just about the placement of the football and the kick. Now, if you're HBU coming in on your fourth drive and you've turned the ball over 3 times, you got to know that ball protection has got to be emphasized here on the fourth drive of the football game.
B.J. Kelly is the running back out there, and on first down gets a handoff straight up the gut, and he goes forward across the 20 out to the 25-yard line for a 5-yard gain. B.J. had a big turnover last week against SFA. Hangs on to the ball here. 3 possessions, 3 turnovers for HBU. Here's a handoff. Kelly again tries to reverse his field and turn it back to the right side of the line, but he's going to be wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. In there to make the hit for the Demons was Lynn Clark, a senior D lineman from New Orleans.
Well, the Huskies on this drive, Lonnie, finding themselves in the second quarter of play and 3 turnovers in the first quarter, but it's still 0-0.
Zappi wants to throw pressure from the backside, and he throws it out in the flat, and that was dangerous. Almost picked off, but it's knocked incomplete. Isaiah Hall was the intended receiver, and Saunier, the defensive back, got over there. Malik Saunier, safety from Friendswood, almost made a diving interception. So here's Christian Guzman on to punt the ball away. Stands back at his own 10-yard line. He'll have the wind at his back, so watch this, folks, if you haven't seen Christian Guzman punt. High spiraling kick. It's going to be fair caught at the 30-yard line by Hayden Bourgeois. And that is where the Demons will take over. Well, do you take comfort in the fact that you didn't turn the ball over, or is this something to worry about because it's the first possession you've had where you didn't move the ball?
Well, it's one of those things where you start to second guess yourself, but really the ball has been in motion for the Huskies all quarter long in that first quarter, and there they just couldn't put together some plays. You just got to think that they're trying to protect the football now.
1st and 10 officially at the 31-yard line, handed off. It's Jones back in there, running back, and he's wrapped up in the backfield.
And he might have put that one on the ground.
Yeah, he did. I think he fell on top of it. But a loss of 4. Watch it again. Yeah, he was separated from the ball. And I think that was Taryn Timmons who got in there to make that hit.
It looked like he was able to tuck it back right before the Huskies picked it up there.
From the 27-yard line, 2nd and 14. Holgerson wants to throw, swings a pass out, has a receiver. It is caught up the near sideline. Now turning back to the middle of the field is the receiver, Jalen Watson, and he loses a football, and the Huskies have it.
Oh, an unbelievable break for the Huskies. You thought that one might go the distance for Northwestern State there for a minute, and then all of a sudden the ball ends up on the ground.
Kyle Bowling comes up celebrating. Watson down the sideline, then decided to turn it back to the middle of the field, and he was just trying to shift the football from one hand to another.
Yeah, he was in the motion of trying to protect that football by getting it into the other arm. And again, this is maybe the first time, and I couldn't tell. We'd have to go back to replay once again, but these players playing with sleeves for the first time, maybe all season long. There's a different feel out there on the football in colder weather.
Well, first turnover of the ball game for Northwestern State, and turnovers are starting to mount up here. 4 total in the game. Here's a throw on first down. Zappe down the field looking for Terrence Peters out of the backfield. And a little underthrown and incomplete. Peters had a step on the defender, but had to wait on it to come down, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, that ball just was up in the air too long, and Peters had that step, had to slow down, and tried to catch it going to his back.
Ron Littleton on the coverage that time. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line on the Husky side of the 50. Peters stays out there at running back after his long jog downfield. He'll get the handoff here on 2nd down. Has a lane into the second level, out across the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. That's going to be a 7-yard gain. And the Huskies, this is probably the best job they've done of consistently running the football so far this season.
And you brought that up, Lonnie. That's a great point. Peters was just down the field running full speed for about 50 yards, comes back, gets the play, and they hand it off to him. And
now he's going to get a breather.
Now he is on a 3rd and 3 here for the Huskies.
James Brown checks in. He'll split out in a slot receiver position. They'll swing a pass in his direction. Ethan Fry was there, and I think somebody got confused on where to be.
Pass was incomplete. Intended for Ethan Fry. It'll bring up 4th down and 3.
Fry and Brown both in the vicinity, as were the defenders covering them for Northwestern State. And so it'll bring up 4th down now.
Now, if you're Guzman, the punter, on this play with the wind trailing at your back, you got to be careful not to punch this one too long to get the touchback.
Pressure comes, and how that one got out of there without being blocked is an amazing thing, but fair caught at the 7-yard line by Bourgeois, and
7-yard line. That's
another good punt by Guzman. Well, he did what you said.
I think he was just trying to get rid of that one.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of time to think about that one, but now he's had back-to-back punts of 44 and 46 yards.
Well, we've seen a little bit of everything from both teams as far as the mistakes. On Northwestern State side, it's been the missed field goals, and for the Huskies, it's been the turnovers of putting it on the ground. It's that team, Lonnie, who can get that consistency here, and it needs to start here in the second quarter.
9.5 minutes to go till halftime. Here's a handoff on first down, and filling up the hole for the Huskies is Latravian G up from his safety spot. It was Jones on the carry. Chris Jones, the senior from Tylertown, Mississippi, gets a yard out across the 7 to the 8. It'll bring up 2nd and 9, and the clock is in motion down to about the 9-minute mark.
Well, and a lot of times when the offense is not producing, the defense starts to think that they need to come up with a big play to score.
Motion, fake the jet sweep, hand it off to Jones again. This time he's out across the 10 to the 11. That's about a 3-yard gain. A little bit of misdirection there on that fake jet sweep.
Yeah, the Northwestern State tries to run it underneath, and again, Garrett Dolan there to deliver the hit.
So a big third down play here, third and we'll call it 6 at the 11-yard line. Need to get out to the 17. 3 receivers out to the right side of the formation. Holgerson looks that way, has a man, it is caught, and he's out across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. That's good enough for a first down. Making the catch out there in the slot was Marquesian Chapman, 5'10" junior. And Jackson and Holgerson were at Northwest Mississippi Community College together last year, so they're familiar with each other.
Well, and that formation really had the Husky secondary confused, and no one accounted for the receiver towards the sideline.
Here's Fletcher in at quarterback, and he keeps it up the gut this time, and that's why they've got him in there. He is a threat to run, and he'll pick up 9 yards out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line.
The 32-yard line brings up
Second down and a yard to go. 7.5 minutes till halftime. We invite you to stick with us at halftime. We've got a special guest, the women's basketball coach from HBU. Donna Finney will join us, talk about her upcoming season, and we'll have a player spotlight on one of the HBU Huskies as well, B.J. Kelly, senior running back. Here's Fletcher, going to keep it and take it to the right side. He'll bounce off a couple of hits. He's not a big guy, but he bounced off and picked up the first down out to the 35.
Northwestern State, much like the Huskies, just looking to sustain a drive, picking up the first down there. Going to move the markers right there on the 35-yard line.
First down, number 5 for Northwestern State here in the first half. Huskies with 9 of their own. Now 18 yards rushing here in the first half for the Demons. Holgerson back out there, and he wants to throw. Looking downfield, and it's going to be almost picked off. It is picked off. G was separated from the ball, but Nick Smith picked it out of midair. He's back up across midfield, and he steps out of bounds inside the 35 at the 32. And that is the 5th turnover of the first half between these two teams.
Oh, wow. And you take a look at Nicholas Smith. You got to think, Lonnie, he's standing in front of that play thinking that the other defensive back is going to intercept this, but he keeps his concentration, tips it up with his fingertips, and takes off down the sideline. Incredible play there for the Huskies.
Trey G tipped the ball up in the air, and then he turned around and was looking for a face masking penalty. That didn't come, but the Huskies will take the trade with a 1st and 10 at the 31 of the Demons.
Well, you couldn't tell from the scoreboard at 0-0, but these turnovers have made this one into a wild one.
Here's a read by Zappi, and they run to the short side, and just nothing there. Zappi's going to be wrapped up, stretched out, and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Krishard Bull again. He's been all over the place. We're in number 38 for the Demons here.
Yeah, and the Demons did a great job there at watching Zappi come out on that option. And Zappi, really, there was nothing he could do there. And tried to salvage as much as he could and only lost a yard there for the Huskies.
Second down and 11, 5:45 to go till halftime. Clock rolls. Zappi with the play fake, wants to throw down the sideline. Dennis Houston, the receiver, broke off the route, and they were just not on the same page. Now back up the field. There's a little extracurricular at the end of this one. Mev Ideen of the Huskies, and I believe Zach Kolchik of Northwestern State from the Woodlands High School. kind of got tangled up there. But it's going to be third down and 11.
And if you're the Huskies here, if you can pick up 5 yards, you get in with Chadwick's range.
And that's what they're thinking. Hand it off to Peters on the delay, and the hole would not open up, and a pretty good open field play by Nick Pirati, the middle linebacker, leading tackler on this team.
And it does. It looks like Chadwick's going to come out.
Well, this will be a 50-yard field goal. You and I know he's got the leg to do this.
And he's got the wind here. Now can he put this in the right direction?
And Jack Swinson, we might mention, the normal holder is not available tonight, so Christian Guzman, the punter, is going to hold. A high snap. Guzman gets it down, though, and a low line drive kick, and I don't know if there was something wrong on that, but there is a flag down on the play.
That flag came out right after the ball was kicked away.
Was that kick deflected? Penalty is apparently on the Huskies. They're talking to Jay Thomas and his staff.
Holding, number 66, kicking team. Our penalties declined. The field goal was no good. First down.
So it'll be Northwestern State football. We've got a timeout on the field. Let's take a quick break here on the Husky Sports Network, and tonight the Southland Digital Network.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and We see your compassion and your tireless dedication. We see your selflessness, and we applaud you for it. We want you to have the freedom to be uniquely, passionately, and gloriously you. At Houston Baptist University, we're creating online programs that give moms, service members, retirees, and everyone in between the freedom to be who they are and to never stop learning. Learn more at hbuonline.com.
First and 10. Holgerson wants to throw, has a receiver. It is caught, and the catch is made by Cameron Lazar. He turns it up the field and gets out of bounds across the 45, out to about the 48-yard line.
So much like the Husky offense, can the Northwestern State Demons protect that football as they pick up that first down?
First and 10 at the 48. Motion and a jet sweep handoff to Chapman. Chapman runs it to the left, and he's going to be wrapped up by Garrett Dolan, who stayed with that play from his middle linebacker spot and drops him out across midfield at the 49-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain on it.
Yeah, the misdirection play there, not fooling the senior linebacker Dolan. He was right there to make the tackle.
Second down and 7 at the 49. Just on HBU's side of midfield. Holgerson from the shotgun. The Huskies are going to bring pressure from the edge. Swings a pass out in a hurry, though. It is caught, and Bryson Bork, senior wide receiver, makes the catch, and he's down to the 45. That's going to be a 4-yard gain, and he'll bring up third, and we'll call it a short 3 to go. 3:25 and counting. Now you got to figure, if you're on the defense, this is a little bit of pride involved here. You've kept them off the scoreboard so far. You don't want to give up a score before halftime here.
Yeah, sure, Lonnie, and this may be 2-down territory already.
Third down. Holgerson wants to throw. Looks right. Now flushed out. Rolls right. Throws on the run. Did he get the pass in? He did. It's caught by Bork right along the sideline, but he threaded the needle there for that completion. It's a first down.
Wow, Bork doing whatever it takes to stay in the boundary line. From this vantage point, Lonnie, he looked all covered up, but was able to make the catch and pick up the first down.
Fletcher checks in at quarterback. So they will hand it off, and it's West who's out there running back, finds a lane inside the 35, 30, and he's down inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. And that looked just like a little stretch play that turns into a big gain.
Well, and West did a good job of bouncing this one towards the numbers. And a big play there for the Demons.
Nicholas Smith for the Huskies had a tough time separating himself from the blocker out there on the edge, one of the receivers. And that freed up West for the big game. 1st and 10 at the 27. 2:17 and counting till halftime. Fake the handoff.
Oh, they put the
missed
ball.
Exchange, and it's a fumble. Is this a turnover? No, I believe they're going to say Northwestern. Fletcher fell on it. And we almost saw the 6th turnover of the first half. Kyle Bowling was right there. He just could not wrap it up.
Official timeout. Injury on the field.
Bowling came up with it, but could not control it. And we've got a timeout on the field, so let's take a short break here on the Husky Sports Network and the Southland Digital Network.
How do you see the world?
He walks off the field under his own power, but a little hobbled. But we're back to live action. 2nd down, and we'll call it 12 to go from the 29. Holgerson with a quick throw out in the flat, has a receiver. It is caught. Jalen Watson makes the catch, steps out of bounds at about the 23. They'll give him the 24, and it'll bring up 3rd down and about 7.
And Holgerson does a great job of just getting that ball out of his hand as fast as possible as the receiver's coming out of the break. The Demons have had some...
Reset the game clock to 1:47. 1:47.
The Demons have had some plays where either on the screen or the quick...
1:59. 1:59.
So we'll get the clock sorted out there. But the Demons have had some quick pass plays where the balls come out quick and they're able to pick up the first down or some substantial yardage.
That's 24 seconds they added back onto the clock. I'm not sure how we lost 24 seconds. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on the clock, but that's some significant time here late in the first half. Here's a pass on 3rd down, and it is complete. And the catch is made by Lucas Morgan. And it's going to be shy of the sticks by about 2 yards. It'll be 4th down. And let's see what Northwestern State is going to do. It looks like the kicking unit is coming back on. They will. It's Piccioni who's back out there. Clear Springs High School product from here in the Houston area. And a left-footed kicker. It'll be out of the hold of J.D. Allman. And now we've got a timeout going to be called by Northwestern State.
For 2nd and a half.
Yeah, that's an interesting timeout. You would have thought maybe Vic Shealy was thinking about calling a timeout as Northwestern State has struggled with these field goals here in the first half to maybe try to ice the kicker before halftime, but the Demons are going to huddle up and talk it over. And Lonnie, we mentioned this earlier. you know, you're looking at a 4th and 2. You may want to take some of these gambles if you're Northwestern State eventually and try to run the ball at the Huskies to see if you can pick it up if you can't pick up the field goal. But it looks like they're going to come back out onto the field with the field goal unit and try to make this one to go up 3-0.
Just a 30-second timeout here. Just some quick numbers. Huskies with 122 yards of offense here in the first half, 177 yards right now for Northwestern State. Piccioni again, the left-footed kicker out there. He's going to try what will be a 37-yard field goal attempt from the near hash mark, and now we've got a whistle, and the Huskies do call a timeout.
Yeah.
HBU, they're first of the half.
I could kind of see that one coming, Lonnie, just because of the struggles early in the kicking game from the Demons. As they'll talk it over, and Piccioni's going to have to go to the sidelines and think it over and contemplate this field goal one more time.
Well, you have to imagine what's going through the minds of the Huskies coaches right now is that they want to do everything they can to keep this score at 0-0. You're still going to have 75 seconds left either way, but you know, if you're not able to drive the ball downfield and put some points on the board of your own, you'd still like to go in with a scoreless tie rather than trailing by 3 here at the half.
Well, we're at 1:15 here before halftime, so a couple of these seconds will tick off, leaving just over a minute for the Huskies to go to work.
So for the third time, Piccioni measures the distance, and the left-footed kicker is ready to go. Good snap back from center, and this one's is going to be wide again. Had the leg, but again wide to the right this time. And it is no good, and with 1:11 to go, here we go.
What do you make of this one after a half of football? I mean, we've seen a little bit of everything, but we haven't seen any scoring. And Lonnie, really, if you're here watching the game, it's been exciting the whole way through. As we take a look at the missed field goal there, just off the mark, you just don't know what's going to happen next. And with 1:11, let's see what the Huskies can do as they march back out there.
B.J. Kelly is in at running back along with Zappi at quarterback. He wants to throw on first down across the middle and behind Ethan Fry, the intended receiver,
Brings up second down.
into some coverage out there. And the defenders, if you're a Huskies fan, you're saying fortunately for the Huskies, the defenders were trying to watch where Fry was going, or they might have had an easy pick there.
Yeah, and Peyton Guidry for the Demons there. I don't think Zappi saw him from the linebacker position there and almost picked it off.
Kelly goes in motion on second down. Now Zappi flushed out of the pocket, going to tuck it under. He'll run forward across the 20, out to near the 25. They'll spot him out at about the 24. It'll be a gain of 4 yards. Stops the clock with 59 seconds to go here in the first half, and brings up third down, and we'll call it 6. They need to get to the 30 to move the chains. Now, I would assume you don't, if possible, want to give the ball back to Northwestern State here if you're HBU before halftime. Zappi looks to throw again. Shovels a pass to B.J. Kelly. He's out across the 30. That'll be good enough for a first down. And he was the safety valve on that play and makes the catch and gets it forward.
And the first down for the Huskies down at the 32-yard line.
And look at this right here.
HBU, they're second and a half.
And it looked like the Huskies were trying to set into the hurry up, but they called the timeout instead.
Well, that's their second timeout of the first half. So they will have one more here. And we saw the earlier field goal attempt, low kick by Alec Chadwick, and I think it was partially blocked at the line of scrimmage. So we know he's got the leg to do it. Now again, where the confidence level is right now. The way this first half has gone, it's going to be interesting to see. But I would think they probably need maybe another 20, 25 yards to get into his range.
And you know, Chadwick has the range. The issue with the field goal team here this year for the Huskies has been Chadwick really hasn't had any kicks within like a 30-yard range. They've all been over 40 and 50 yards. I mean, they put a lot of pressure on him so far this season.
Zappi rolls out on the first down play, stays on his feet somehow, and he looks like he might have been hobbled. I don't know if he aggravated that foot injury or was just looking downfield, but he's going to be dropped behind the line of scrimmage at the 30-yard line. That's a 2-yard loss, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 12.
And that clock is ticking here, Lonnie, and
here's a handoff, and on the delay, it's B.J. Kelly, and he gets it right back to the 30, and that's it. Maybe trying to catch Northwestern State off guard there, but now if you're going to get another snap off, and it doesn't look like they're going to, Zappi's already headed toward the locker room, because it looks like we're going to take a scoreless tie into the half here. So defenses have played well, not necessarily dominated. Offenses have moved the ball at times, but turned it over on both sides, and because of that, we're looking at a scoreless tie. Halftime coming up straight ahead on the Huskies Halftime Report. Stick with us. Visit with women's basketball head coach Donna Finney straight ahead.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Physically, we just, we were outmatched so many times last year. But this year the girls have really focused, and I think Coach Pena's done a great job in the weight room of getting them physically ready, and that's making a big difference every day in practice. And then we had a scrimmage this morning, and we could see the difference there too. So, I think, that's been the biggest change for us going forward, in addition to their IQ. I mean, we're not having to stop practice as often as we did last year, I can tell you. I'm not saying that I'm going to escape without any gray hairs this year, but it definitely is going to be a lot easier than it was last year, because we continue to teach on a daily basis, but the retention is so much better than it was last year. So things move a lot smoother, shall we say, every day.
I know there were times last year when you thought that among the group of players that you had and have again this year, you had some strengths, but at times because of the youth, it was hard to see where those might be. Are you seeing development there? Are your strengths going to be what you thought they might be?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I said a couple of weeks ago that I was really pleased to see how improved our post play is. And I think part of the reason that we didn't see that last year as much was because our guards were so inexperienced and had a lot of pressure on them. I've been really pleased with the progression of our younger guards, and in particular Sophie Taylor, who, I have challenged this year to step up and be a scorer, and she's done a great job of that so far in practice. And, obviously we get tested very early on with a top 20 team, but I really expect her to be a leader with the ball in her hands, and she continues to do that well on a daily basis. So, I think we've seen improvements from those younger guards, and they still have a lot to learn, obviously, but with those valuable minutes coming back, we're excited about them going into the season.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your schedule, because you do have an interesting pre-conference schedule. You start out in Tampa, Florida here, in about 3 weeks, I guess.
It's actually, just over 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow.
See, I told you it's coming quick.
Yeah, and obviously, USF are top 20 team. There's going to be a lot of interest in pronunciations on that radio call, Lonnie, because most of the USF team are from Europe as well. So we got a lot of different nationalities going to be on the floor in that game. But a very good ball club, very well coached, and we're excited to open there. And then be glad to be back in Houston for a couple of games after that.
What kind of challenges do you expect to see in the conference this year when we get to the conference season at the end of December?
Well, we open with Lamar and their preseason favorites, and they have 3 first-team conference selections, and going to be very, very tough test for us on the 28th of December against them, because they return pretty much, the core of their offense and a lot of experience. So I think that's good for us, though, to play Lamar and New Orleans, who are also picked to be a top 4 team this year, because it will test us early on in conference and really see how much we've improved through our non-conference schedule.
The one thing that I've noticed in both the men's and women's schedule, I'll spit it out here, men's and women's schedule this season is that there seems to be a little more of a regularity to the way they scheduled this season this year. Now, not really double headers, but Wednesday, Saturday, and sometimes you would go, early in the season, especially last year, you had some games where you had 3 or 4 conference games in a week.
Yeah, we started the last 2 years with 4 and 7 days, and that was really tough on our kids. And the thing with that, Lonnie, is it's so hard to prepare for the next game. So this Wednesday, Saturday schedule that we have now really gives us that extra day, because if we're traveling, we get the time to travel and then prepare for the next team. It was tough going Thursday, Saturday, because, especially on the road, it's hard for the kids to really focus on the second game. And
it's really not like having a day in between.
Right.
You're moving.
Yeah, you're driving somewhere else, and then you're having to get a whole new scout in, and you have one practice session, and the kids are tired from the night before. So you're it takes a lot to figure out how to get that across. And with kids, like the kids that we have are so cerebral that they need that scouting report, because they want to know the details. Our kids want to study it and know it, so they can execute it on the floor. And so it has been, I think it's been a blessing for us that we've moved to Wednesday, Saturday. So we're excited about that.
One other personnel question. Last year you lost a significant piece in Bria Johnson. How's How's her recovery been?
Yeah, she's good. She, we're expecting to see her back. Maybe not for the first game, but she'll be back. I would think pretty soon after that, and that's going to give us a real lift because obviously Bria's been our vocal leader on the floor, and I think that's really going to add support to these younger guards that we have. But I've been really pleased with the maturity they've shown. I can say that. I've come out of practice a lot in this preseason, smiling because I can see where we're making gains on a daily basis, and that's, I understand. I'm trying to keep things in perspective here, that we have a long, long way to go, but seeing those daily improvements and seeing how hard they're working and how much they want it is great for us as coaches, and I think. We're starting to see their IQ raise. We're starting to see them ask a lot more questions on the court, communicate much better with each other. So, it's a fun group to work with, and they're great kids. And so we have a fun time ahead.
And I think you still got a couple on the roster that can remember back a couple of years to those back-to-back conference tournament seasons. And I'm sure that's got to be motivation coming into the year.
It is, and that is definitely our goal, is to make sure we get to Katie, and because once you get there, as you know, anything can happen. So, and that certainly hasn't been erased from any of our minds. But we have some great personalities on this team this year, and I think the addition of Natalia Guarda has been huge for our team in so many ways. And I keep saying this to people, and she gets embarrassed when I say it, but. She does have just an incredible personality to have on a team. She's a great teammate. She picks people up when they need it. She understands the game so well, and she makes other people around her better. And I think it's done wonders for our other post play because she's challenged them. But just for our guards, she's such a safe pair of hands. And a great personality, and I'll tell you, we get a lot of fun in practice when she's there. So, we're excited, and I think this group all return next year, and that's a luxury for a coach to say. We have a big signing coming up in a couple weeks' time of a kid that we're really excited to get hold of, and she's going to add another dimension to our team. So, we've got a lot to look forward to, and although we're young and we're going to have some bumps this year again, I think we're going to start to see such rapid improvement by the time conference comes.
Will that be a mid-season edition or for next year?
For next year, yeah.
Well, the season, as you mentioned, gets underway against South Florida in Tampa on Sunday, November 12th, but then fans will have a chance to see you shortly after that. Wednesday, November 15th is the home opener against Laterno here at Sharp Gym.
Yeah.
And that should be a lot of fun.
I hope so. It's always tough, Lonnie, playing, midweek games, especially after a road trip like that. So, we have to prepare for all of those games the same way and make sure that we come back and we're switched on. And we want as many people to come out as possible. And I just want to say we have a practice squad this year, Lonnie, and these guys have been, just a tremendous addition for our program. And, these students from HBU have really bought into what we've been asking them to do. They're making our girls tougher. They are the perfect practice squad because they understand the game and they understand what I want, and they work hard every day that they come in. So I'm really, really pleased that we have them. And just through them, I've seen our girls make new connections on campus, and they've been involved with Husky Hype because one of our practice players is in the Husky Hype group. So it's been a really, really good positive thing for our team on the floor, but also off the floor. And I hope that shows with some new faces coming to our games in Sharp.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing the team, and wish you the best of luck this year.
Thank you, and we're looking forward to being on the call with you again.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Looking forward to that. Just a couple of weeks away, Donna Finney, the head coach of the Huskies, and we're going to take another timeout. We'll come back with more. No Score here at halftime on the Husky Sports Network. What are some of the goals you've got for this final season?
Just to have a winning season. Being here at HBU since we started up in 2013, watch the program start from the bottom and arrive here where we are today. And it's been a journey for us. It's been fun. A lot of lessons to be learned here, and it's been a ride. It's been a great ride. I can tell you that. It's been an awesome experience.
You and Terrence are now kind of the elder statesmen and finally got some new blood coming into the position at running back, a lot of young guys. As you've gone through the year, how have you tried to be an influence on those younger guys?
I'd say right out back, just helping those guys with the playbook, because we have a broad playbook and there's a lot of nicks and knacks to our systems. And I think the biggest thing this year was just being a big brother to those guys, showing them the rope, and as they entered in during the summertime, which is when the whole team reports for the first time of the 2017 season, and that has been the biggest thing I can say. Just helping guys with the playbook and just being there for them.
Do you allow yourself the luxury of kind of stopping and thinking about we're creating a legacy for a football program that you may be able to come back to in 20 or 30 years and see the results?
As a senior, as the original 13, it's fun. It is a legacy because you started something that has never been here before, which is having football, D1 football here at Houston Baptist University. So it's definitely been exciting. It's definitely fun to leave back a legacy and say, you know what, I was there and we did this, and our names will forever be on HBU football field.
Speaking of the original 13, go back to that developmental season or any point along the way. Are there any memories that stick out, either on the field or off the field, of your time here and some of the trials and learning experiences you had to go through?
Definitely. I can remember back to when we were practicing on the soccer fields during the summer times, and even here when the stands weren't built yet, and as they were building, as we were practicing during fall camp, and just one of those memories. And also with my brothers, with the guys who came before us even, and just those memories, those special moments you share, whether it's on the road or locker room or even at practice, and I think the spring is when you build up that camaraderie a lot.
Remind us again what your major is and where you are in your degree progress.
Wellness management. I'm looking at December to graduate.
And how's that feel?
Great. It's still surreal, like I said. It's crazy to think about being here since 2013. Now we here, fall of 2017. It came fast. It came real fast.
Do you think about the future and what you may do after this year?
Definitely. It's exciting to have a couple things lined up, and now we're stepping into manhood and the real world. And this is what football has prepared me for, I believe, and just the relationships you've built, and just those hard times you go through, thinking that I don't understand and know how I'm going to get through this. But I think that's what football does for you for real life. It prepares you for those tough obstacles.
Is there one game that you look back on that stands out to you in your career?
Definitely. I remember our first conference win against Nickel State. That was a turning point in our career. Yeah. Remember I scored like a 20-yard, 30-yard touchdown. It was on the right side of the field, and that put us up to win the game.
Yeah, I think you had over 150 yards rushing that day. I think it was about a 29-yard TD run that afternoon.
It definitely was. That was fun. That was a fun game.
Well, man, it's been fun to watch you. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to visit with us this week. Best of luck to you the rest of this season and in your future as well.
Appreciate this so much. Go Huskies.
B.J. Kelly, running back for the Huskies. We'll take a timeout and come back with more on the Huskies halftime report after this.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, visit ShrinersHospitalsForChildren.org.
I'm Vic Shealy. Thanks for listening to HBU Football on the Husky Sports Network.
And welcome back into Husky Stadium. Halftime of our game between the HBU Huskies and the Northwestern State Demons, and we are locked up in a scoreless tie here midway through this game. And along with Tyler Boyd, I'm Lonnie King. Quick look at the stats in the first half. Shows that it's been fairly even, 177 yards on 30 offensive plays for Northwestern State, 38 snaps for the Huskies, just 132 yards. But Tyler, again, a point we touched on in the first half, turnovers the story of this first 30 minutes of play.
The ball's been on the ground 7 times, and there's been fumble recoveries either way, and 1 interception. You know, we mentioned Piccioni struggling, and Chadwick was unable to hit from just over 50, but it may come down to these field goal kickers here in the second half, tied up 0-0.
Huskies kick it off to Northwestern State, and Chadwick from the north end of the field kicks it. The wind has died down here to start the second half, but Chadwick still boots it out the back of the end zone, and so 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line to start the second half for Northwestern State. In the first half, Clay Holgerson, the quarterback for the Demons, went 12 of 16 for 146 yards, threw a pick. Leading rusher in the first half for Northwestern State was Jared West, just 11 yards rushing. As a team, Northwestern State had just 31 yards on the ground. They're out there with 2 receivers on the left side, fake the handoff on the jet sweep and give it up the gut to Jones, who's out there to start the second half at running back, and he carries it across the 25 to the 28-yard line, a pickup of 3. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
And you mentioned it, Lonnie. Clay Holgerson in the first half, 12 of 16 for 146 yards. Quick passes either to the outside or the flat routes. See if that continues here in the second half.
Single back is Jones off his left shoulder. Huskies show a little pressure off the edge. And Holgerson will throw, far sideline, and overthrows his intended receiver. Coverage was pretty good out in the flat over there by Dominic Barnett. Intended receiver that time was Cameron Lazar.
That's one of those routes, if you're the quarterback, you're going to anticipate right as the receiver comes out of the route, that ball's already in the air. So Holgerson had made up his mind well before the break of that route, just overshot his receiver.
So 3rd down now on the first possession of the second half, 14-15 to go in the third quarter. No score on the board yet. Holgerson wants to throw, has a pass batted up in the air and almost picked off. Taryn Timmons got a hand on it for the Huskies, and Andre Walker almost found it in his mitts.
Wow. Big break right there for the Demons, because that was going to give the Huskies the ball right around the 25-yard line. And now the punting unit comes out. Going to kick this one away.
So on to kick the ball away. It looks like Piccioni is out there. Pastorello is the normal punter, but the left-footed Piccioni gets a kick away, a little rugby-style punt, and coming up to make the fair catch across the 40 at the 42-yard line is Brandon Taylor, and that'll set up the Huskies with good starting field position here on their first possession of the second half.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of offense in the first half, but Lonnie, according to the watch on my wrist, that was an hour and 7 minutes we ran through that first half. It was a quick first half, and that's one of the reasons why Bailey Zappi is sitting 6 for 11 for 71 yards. Just not a whole lot of action in the first half. Very quick. Let's see what the Huskies open with here.
Zappi was sacked 4 times. Huskies also fumbled the ball 3 different times in the first half. Here's a handoff up the gut. It's Peters on the carry. Just follows his blockers in the middle of the line. Kyle Tomase winds up on top of him, but he's going to be across the 45 to the 47 for a 5-yard gain.
Terrence Peters on the carry to the 47-yard line.
2nd and 5, right back to the line of scrimmage. Hand it to Peters again. Hole opens up, straight up the hash marks, and close to another 5 yards. He may be just shy of the sticks. Depends on where they're going to spot it. And I think they're going to come up about a yard short at the 49-yard line. So they'll go right back, hurry it up, hand it to Peters, avoids a tackle, slips to the outside, and he's going to get to the edge and turn it up, has a first down in Demons territory at the 44-yard line.
And that run right there was all Terrence Peters, bottled up on the inside, bounced it to the outside, got it just enough for the first down, and keeps this drive alive for the Huskies.
Rashard Bull got over there and bumped him out of bounds. He's been around the football a lot tonight, leading this team in tackles, but not before Peters picks up a first down at the 44, 1st and 10 from the left hash mark as the Huskies move left to right here to start the second half. Hand it off, and this time it is Brown out there at running back. The freshman tries to run to the short side of the field, and he is strung out and wrapped up. Pirati over there to make the hit for a loss of a yard.
Well, so far the coverage from the defensive backs for Northwestern State, a lot of man-to-man here today, and have been successful. The Huskies unable to get a big play over the top. And right now you take a look at some of the Husky receivers like Ethan Fry, one-on-one at the bottom of the numbers here.
Motion from Isaiah Hall, flag down at the snap. Here's a throw down the field looking for Fry, and he makes the catch.
That is a tremendous catch there from Ethan Fry.
Made by Ethan Fry.
I think he's going to pick up the pass interference.
There are 2 penalties on the
There's a flag back at the line of scrimmage, though. Is that...
Look at this play by Ethan Fry, getting tackled and makes the play going to the ground. And that's what I was just speaking to right before that play, Lonnie. They're leaving Ethan Fry one-on-one. And Ethan Fry is one of those playmakers for the Huskies that, let's see what happens here on these penalties.
Everybody's watching.
Fouls on both teams at offset. Illegal shift, number 2 and number 5 on the offense. Pass interference, number 2 to the defense. At offsets, replay, second down.
Well, that's just a heartbreaking offsetting penalty there for the Huskies. Ethan Fry doing everything in his power to come up with a big play, and we're going to run this one all over again on second down.
Pay no attention to those yellow flags on the field, folks. 2nd and 11. Zappi rolling out to his right, looks for help. He's going to have to get out of bounds and hit close to the sideline by Bull as he gets over there, bumped out of bounds. Gets about 4 yards down to the 42, and so it'll bring up 3rd down, and we'll call it 8 to go.
Well, Zappi was trying to communicate with Ethan Fry down the field. Ethan Fry just could not break away from the defender and force Zappi to run out of bounds.
Siniceros, who had a reception back in the first half for the Huskies. Corey Siniceros back out there for the Huskies in the slot. And Zappi wants to throw, and he's going to be wrapped up and sacked back at midfield. The 5th sack of the ball game for the Demons tonight.
Well, and Zappi was looking down the field, but as that pocket started to collapse, his eyes came down and there was nowhere to run.
Zach Kolchik, the JUCO transfer from Glenn College and the graduate of the Woodlands High School here in the Houston area.
Remember, the Demons were close on that last punt, of almost blocking it. And again, dangerously close.
Guzman gets it away, and now a bobbled punt by Bourgeois, but it's going to be picked up back inside the 10 by Jones, or that may be Saunier down there on coverage. Malik Saunier on the punt coverage, and
right there in replay,
that
2 Demons collide, right, trying to catch that football. A fortunate break there for Northwestern State.
Deshaun Ficklin, who was trying to block for Bourgeois, basically backed into him and separated him from the football. So Northwestern State, with the unfortunate break, starts at their own 6-yard line. Holgerson will hand off on first down, and it is Jones. Tries to stretch it to the outside on the left side. He's going to be hit. Gets forward across the line of scrimmage out to the 9-yard line. That'll be a 3-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. 10:35 and counting here in the third quarter. No score yet in this ball game. On second down, 2 receivers to the right side of the formation. Tight end is tight to the left side, the short side of the field. H-back is lined up that way as well. Here's a throw on the roll. It is caught. That is Watson who makes the catch. He's very near the sticks on the far sideline, and at the 11-yard line, check it, 16, they're going to say that's enough for a first down. Yep, that knee comes down right at the 16-yard line. Good spot by the officials, and it's a first down for the Demons with 9:50 to go here in the third quarter. 9th first down of the ball game for Northwestern State. Handoff to Jones. Up the middle, says hello to Cody Moncure, and Kyle Bowling comes in as well. They stack him up. He gets out to the 20. That'll be a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, that was a break there for the Huskies because they sent blitzes coming from the left side, and that play almost broke back the other direction. Fortunately, the senior there, Moncure, makes a stop.
2nd down and 6. Holgerson, the quarterback, the nephew, by the way, of West Virginia head coach Dana Holgerson, wants to throw, has a receiver. It's Watson, sits down in his route and makes the catch. And out across the 25-30, and a late flag comes in as Watson goes out of bounds at the 32. This was away from the play, and you wonder.
I mean, there's only so many things you can call away from the play if this is a personal foul or a late holding penalty.
Personal foul, number 70, offense, unnecessary roughness, half the distance to the goal, replay, 2nd down.
There's a break for HBU right there. That was enough for a first down, and it was a big gain, and instead they're going to back up inside the 15-yard line down to the 12.
And Lonnie, how many plays have we seen erased after just a big play happens for either the Huskies or the Demons? Something seems to always come of it at the end of the play with the penalty.
Under 9 minutes to go in the third. Holgerson wants to throw in the pocket, has a receiver across the middle. It's the tight end, makes the catch and hangs on. Cameron Lazar out across the 20 at the 22. It's going to bring up 3rd down. We'll call it about 4 to go. A 10-yard gain on that play.
Holgerson really stepped up into the pocket that time and delivered a strike. Set his feet nicely there, right on target.
Claps his hands together for the snap. Takes it, now flushed out of the pocket, gonna tuck it under and run. He's got a first down out across the 30, out to the 35 where he goes into a slide. They'll say he started it at the 33, so that's where they spotted.
There's no linebackers there, Lonnie. I mean, the linebackers all cleared out, and Holgerson tucks that one up for a big gain.
11 yards on the first down run, and first down number 10 of the game for the Demons. HBU with 11. And they want to throw on first down, swinging out to Jones, who's out of the backfield, going to be stretched out and bumped out of bounds. Bowling got there early, strung him out while Dolan and Nicholas Smith get over there to clean it up. No gain. Well, they're going to give him a yard. Out across the 33 to the 34, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 9. 7.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. We're now midway through the third and still looking for our first dent of the scoreboard. Cool Saturday night here in Houston. 3 receivers to the left side of the formation. And Fletcher has checked in at quarterback. On the option read, he's going to be wrapped up. And it looks like the Huskies are now figuring out when he's out there, he's either going to keep it or hand it off to one of the running backs.
Yeah, Fletcher has been in there from time to time in this ball game, has ran the option, has run a couple draw plays, and the Huskies are starting to figure out that they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage when Fletcher checks in.
Holgerson back out there now on this big 3rd down play, 3rd and 8. At the 35, they need to get it out to the 43 to keep their drive alive. Holgerson has time, now flushed out of the pocket, going to be chased, and he's going to be dropped across the 35 at the 38-yard line. That's going to be shy by about 5 yards, and it'll bring up 4th down in a punting situation.
Well, a strong series there for the defense, and you know, this is an interior line that has been somewhat beat down throughout the season, Lonnie, but there, Holgerson tries to pick it up underneath, and the linebackers and the defensive tackles are there to make the play.
Piccioni back out there to kick again, and another line drive rugby-style kick, and Brandon Taylor wobbles under it, but goes to a knee and hangs on for the fair catch back at the 22-yard line, and stops the clock with 5:53 to go. So we've got a quick timeout on the field. Let's take a break on the Husky Sports Network and the Southland Digital Network.
From the wonderful folks who put the R in cola. I'll be signing off now because it's my bedtime. I'll catch you on the flip side. Be there.
Back here at Husky Stadium on 1st down, a quick pass to Isaiah Hall out of the slot receiver position, and Zappi hits him, and he's out across the 25 and the 30 and out near the 32. 2nd down and less than a yard to go. So they hurry back to the line of scrimmage, hand it off to Terrence Peters, who carries it across the line to gain, and they've got a 1st down out at the 33.
Terry takes the ball to the 33-yard line where it's a 1st down for the Huskies.
We've seen the Huskies have some success this year when they pick up the tempo on offense. You wonder if they might try to do that a little bit here. So we roll down to the 5-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. No score on the board. Zappi with Peters in the backfield, going to hand it to him again. Hole opens up, stays on his feet, out across the 35 to the 39-yard line. Another 5-yard gain, and if you're HBU, this is the best rushing night you've had so far this season.
Well, Terrence Peters is having a great night. I mean, quietly just continues to get the football and pick up yards for the Huskies. He's going to get a little bit of a break right here on the sideline.
Brown checks in at running back. The freshman gets a handoff, runs to the short side of the field, tries to turn it up. He's going to maybe get a yard out to the 40, and that's about it. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4 now.
Well, 3rd and 4, if you're Bailey Zappi, you got to come up with something here to sustain this drive, as we're getting close to the 4-minute mark in the 3rd quarter in a 0-0 game. This is a great opportunity for the Huskies to put some points potentially on the board.
Brown splits out of the backfield. It's going to be a quarterback keeper on the delay by Zappi. He's across midfield and down at the 44-yard line on the Demon side of midfield, and that's a 1st down for the Huskies.
And I like it, you know, Zappi, the leader of the offense, decides to tuck that one down and pick it up with his feet, and his team is going to feed off of that.
Here's a handoff quickly up the gut, straight up the hash mark behind the center and guards. It's Brown inside the 45 down to the 43. That's just going to be a 1-yard net on the gain. 3.5 minutes to go here Zappi now after that carry with 23 yards rushing here in the first half. Steps up, gives the play call to his O-line, hands it off to Brown, runs left. Fumble on the play, and I think the Huskies have turned it over again as James Brown is separated from the football and a little extracurricular. It's got to be frustration, but Jalen Sangster has the football for the Demons.
State at the 39-yard line.
You know, and this is just another drive that ends in a turnover.
Recovered by Northwestern State.
And that's clearly going to be upheld as that ball was out before Brown went to the ground.
I think it was Peyton Guidry, the linebacker, who got a hand in there.
Recovered by Northwestern State. It's under review.
They're going to review it, so we've got a timeout on the field. Let's take the break. But I believe this will stand. We'll be back on the Husky Sports Network and the Southland Digital Network.
Rolling up on a cheap price feels good, but cheap comes with risk. Heart surgeons, pilots, no one hires a cheap one of them. Fact is, certain things must be done right. Installing electricity in Houston schools and hospitals needs to be built with manpower that spent 10,000 hours training to do their job. So for heart surgeons to do their job, we must do ours. Skilled labor isn't cheap, and cheap labor isn't all that skilled.
The time is now to hire IBEW electricians. All right, everybody. If this one doesn't get your toe tapping, check your pulse. You may be dead. Here it is, coming to you in living cola. Refreshing Pepsi Cola. From the wonderful folks who put the R in cola. I'll be signing off now, because it's my bedtime. I'll catch you on the flip side. Be there.
Back at Husky Stadium, the ruling on the field is confirmed. If you're watching on the Southland Digital Network, you saw the instant replay, and it clearly showed that Peyton Guidry got a hand in there on the football as Brown was trying to earn a couple of extra yards and separated him from it. So here on first down, Holgerson wants to throw and looking for Lazar along the far sideline. Pretty good coverage by Dominic Barnett of HBU, and it's overthrown and incomplete. 2:54 to go here in the third. No score in this game. That is almost unbelievable to say in a Southland Conference game.
You would have to think at this point in the game, each coach is challenging their team for somebody somewhere to step up and make a big play to put some points on the board.
Holgerson looks over the defense, going to hand it off. It's West who's checked in at running back, and he plows forward. Raphael Lewis comes up from his cornerback spot, wraps him up, but carries him for a couple of yards out to the 48.
Third down and 2.
And we've got a whistle. Let's see what the
band needs to stop playing during the opposing team's offensive cadence. The band needs to stop playing during the opposing team's offensive cadence.
So there we go. Little homecoming advantage that Dan Lewis says we're going to put a stop to. I'm not sure I've ever seen that as a thing.
That is the first time I have ever seen that. And now that has really got this HBU crowd fired up.
2:30 to go in the third quarter. Holgerson wants to hand off and does, and the Huskies defense stacks him up. And if they wanted to get the crowd has been very quiet tonight.
Lonnie, I don't recall ever being in a situation where that call has been made and it almost you have to think almost went the other way as an advantage for the Huskies because it brought some life to this crowd.
Well, I was going to say, if you're Jay Thomas and his staff, you're telling the officials thanks for nothing on that one, because that fired up the fans here. Now it's 4th down, and they have to punt the ball away. A high, short kick. Brandon Taylor runs up under it, makes the catch, hits the knee, and these dangerous play.
Yeah, dangerous play, but these fans, they are now in it. I mean, here they come. You can hear them.
Well, let's see if that ignites a little spark in the guys in the blue jerseys down on the field. 1:36 to go in the 3rd quarter, and we're still looking for our first points of the ball game. Bailey Zappi and company back out to the line of scrimmage, which will be the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 from that spot. Peters, the running back, off the left shoulder, takes a handoff, runs right, but stacked up in the middle of the line. Guidry comes up from his linebacker spot to make the stop, along with Danny Harmon, a defensive end, senior from Rayne, Louisiana. Give him a yard to the 24. 2nd down and 9 from that spot. Ball still on the near hash mark. Zappi again from the shotgun. Wants to throw. Looks, fires, has a receiver. It's caught. Dennis Houston makes the catch. And that's the first catch by the freshman from San Antonio tonight. He's got a 1st down out across the 30 to the 34.
Well, when Dennis Houston catches this football, he knows exactly where that 1st down marker is, and he dove up the field to pick it up for the Huskies.
45 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like we're going to go down to the final 15 minutes looking for a score. Here's a handoff. Peters stretches it out to the right side, tries to turn the corner. He's going to be bumped hard. Just angled his way up for about 3 or 4 yards out to about the 38-yard line. And it'll stop the clock with 30 seconds to go in the 3rd.
Well, and we may get one more play here as the game clock and the play clock look like they're synced up.
2nd down and 6 from the 38. Motion from Isaiah Hall. Zappi swings a little pass to Peters out of the backfield. He will get it, turn the corner up across the 40. Well, they're going to say he stepped out at the 39-yard line. That's only going to be a yard gain. Terrence, I think, thought he got a little further up the field. But that will allow the clock to run out here at the end of the 3rd quarter. And folks, we've played 45 minutes of football in the Southland Conference tonight and still do not have a score on the board. Huskies nothing, Demons nothing on the Husky Sports Network and the Southland Digital Network.
Are you a grad?
We see all that you do as a mom, and we applaud you. At Houston Baptist University, we've created online programs that give students the freedom to be who they are and to never stop learning. Learn more at hbuonline.com.
Because a strong alumni base equals a strong HBU.
This is the HBU Husky Sports Network, powered by Legacy Sports.
4th quarter as we come back to Husky Stadium. Glad to have you along tonight. No score, and the Huskies have the football. Bailey Zappi out of the pocket. Going to run forward and slide at the 49-yard line and pick up a first down for HBU to get things going.
Now, Bailey Zappi made a similar play on the drive before with his legs, just tucking the ball up, safely sliding right out by the 50-yard line. The emphasis here, Lonnie, is ball control and ball security for the Huskies.
And if you're Northwestern State's defense, you got to be thinking, hey, we've stripped the ball all night. Let's do it again. HBU going to try to prevent that. Zappi steps forward, says something to his O-line, hands it off to Peters, tries to wiggle his way through a little hole on the offensive line and gets a yard out to midfield. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Yeah, you're right. I would think the coaches on the sideline for HBU have to just be screaming, hang on to that football no matter what you have to do.
Well, and it gets hard here because everybody wants to make a play, and sometimes when you make the play, you get the football extended away from your body. But ball security so important as we're still 0-0 here in the 4th, which means field position starts to play a big factor as well.
Zappi pressured from behind and hangs on as he's dropped another sack by the Demons, sack number 6 on the night. And boy, anytime he gets that blindside pressure, you worry about that ball coming out if you're an HBU fan.
And we've seen that one time already tonight. The Demons, when they decide to bring pressure, have been able to get to the blind side of Zappi when he has turned his body across the other side of the field to look his receiver. But big 3rd down, a long 3rd down here for the Huskies.
And bobbled snap, Zappi's going to try to improvise, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield for a loss. But that play just was not clean from the get-go as the snap was bobbled by Bailey Zappi. And it'll bring up 4th down. Danny Garza, the long snapper for HBU, will head out over the football, and Christian Guzman will set up at his own 30-yard line to punt it away. Bourgeois drops back deep to return it for Northwestern State. A high short kick into the wind now as the wind is picked back up a little bit. And it's going to be downed at the 32-yard line. Tyler Kelly down there for HBU to down it.
And look at the student section here. They have moved from one. They were at the far end of the stadium and have brought their drums in on the 50-yard line down there and now are pounding as the Demons make their way out on offense.
1st and 10 for Northwestern State at their own 32-yard line. Holgerson claps for the football, gets the snap, swings a pass out to Watson in the flat, makes the catch, turns it up near the 1st down marker. Out of bounds at the 41. That's about a yard shy, 9 yards on the game. But they've connected on that a few times tonight. For Watson, his 6th catch for 85 yards this evening. Holgerson now is 17 of 24 passing tonight, completed 71% of his passes. Hands it off. It is Anderson out there running back. He carries big back, plows forward. Got a couple of yards. He just needed 1, though, and that'll be enough for a 1st down for the Demons.
1st and 10 at the 43.
11th 1st down of the game for Northwestern State. We've got 11 and a half minutes to go in regulation time of this one, and still no score on the board. Holgerson wants to throw now, flushed out of the pocket, rolling out, throws on the run, has a receiver out of bounds, though. Watson actually caught that ball, but just couldn't stay in bounds.
It's a great effort by Watson to try to come up with that one on the boundary, but look at there. HBU only bringing 3 defensive linemen, dropped everyone out back into coverage, and you thought that Holgerson was eventually going to find someone, but great effort from the secondary and the linebackers there for the Huskies to not give up a big play.
2nd and 10 at the 43. Holgerson waits on the snap, handed off, and up the gut it is Stadford Anderson, and he's out near midfield on the carry. That's a quick 7 yards straight up the gut.
3rd down and a long 3.
He's 6'1", 213 pounds, a true freshman out of Glen Oaks High School in Baton Rouge. Looks like their biggest running back. He carries it forward for 7 on that play. 3rd down to go here. And on 3rd down, a pass out in the near flat to Lazar from Holgerson. He makes the catch, and that's going to be a 4-yard gain, but that is enough to move the sticks again.
Yeah, really couldn't do anything about it if you're HBU. Perfectly timed throw to the outside of the shoulder towards the boundary, and Lazar comes up with it to pick up the 1st down.
That was one of those passes from the far hash to the near sideline, one of those that goes about 40 yards in the air to pick up 4. But Lazar with the catch for the 1st down. 10-20 to go. Hand off. It's Anderson. Just looks for a hole, plows forward, and again, there are some frustrations down there, I think, on both sides of the football here tonight.
Yeah, the offensive line and the defensive line after the play's over. You can see that these teams are hungry to get a win, and with the scoreboard at 0-0 here in the 4th, it's who can keep their composure, Lonnie, because certainly you wouldn't want to pick up a 15-yard penalty now.
2nd and 7. Ball at the 43 on the Husky side of the 50. Bowling off the edge, and now Raphael Lewis shows blitz. Here they come from the corner. Pass over the middle is tipped and knocked down. Terrell Brown, the defensive end, dropped off in coverage with the blitz coming off the edge, and he got a hand on it and knocked it up in the air.
Look at that, fully extended. Terrell Brown tries to get his eyes back up to locate the football, come up with an interception. Now here, if you're the Husky defense on a 3rd and long, this may be one of the biggest plays in the ball game thus far, as we're 9:30 in the 4th.
3rd and 7. They send Chapman into the slot on the left side. Single receiver out to the right side. Here's a throw across the middle. It's Lazar, makes the catch in traffic and has a 1st down inside the 35 at the 32-yard line. Big pitch and catch across the middle. Dolan and G there on the coverage. Dolan wraps him up, but not before Lazar picks up a big 1st down. The clock rolls down toward the 9-minute mark. This game may wind up being the first team to score wins. Holgerson wants to throw. Pressured, and he's going to wind his way out of a sack. Still on the run. He'll be forced out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. But Tyler Hilaire almost had a sack in the backfield.
And Garrett Dolan covers a lot of field here, Lonnie. Holgerson escapes and sheds this tackler, and then Dolan from the middle of the field, and he was probably 15 yards behind the play, forces Holgerson to lose about 5 yards there.
Yeah, we'll call it 2nd and 14 from the 36-yard line. Fans trying to make some noise here, 8:25 and counting. Fake the handoff, Holgerson throws across the middle, has Bork, and he's separated, and let's see, are they going to say he was down? This one should be reviewed.
Oh, there.
The umpire is, yeah, it's a turnover.
Unbelievable. You've got to be kidding me. What a play from the secondary.
And a fumble and recovery by
That was Nick Smith who stripped Bork of the football. Latravian G picked it up.
By HBU. That ruling is under review.
They're going to look it over.
Well, Nick Smith there, Lonnie, you could see he was frustrated because that pass was caught and really did everything in his power to strip the football. Now it's where the knee was and where the turf was.
We'll see if they slow it down here. Bork does a good job to make a catch in traffic. Smith, though, wraps him up immediately. And is that knee down? It's going to be hard to overturn this one, I think, if that's the look they've got. Now, if you're, well, Latravian G had a knee on the ground when he picked up the football. So I thought for a minute that G picked it up while he was standing up and they whistled it dead. That would have been an unfortunate break. But I think this call is probably going to stand.
It's going to be difficult. I mean, with that camera angle right there, it's a boom boom type play. I mean, that ball comes out, they fall to the ground, and you got to think, Piccioni coming into this game.
Here's a look from over the middle if you're watching on the Southland Digital Network, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see where the ball actually comes out from that angle. I think that's going to be hard to overturn.
Well, we'll see.
Rolling on the field stand. Quick catch. Fumble recovered by HBU.
Well, there you go.
And just how big of a play that was there. Piccioni was 6 for 6 on field goals coming into this game. One of 3 kickers in the nation that was, 100%. Had missed here 3 tonight. They were in range. And
you got to figure he's due.
He's due for a field goal. So how big for the Huskies?
1st and 10 at the 23 for HBU. Zappi back out there, wants to throw on 1st down. Here comes pressure. He lofts it down the field into double coverage and almost picked off. Saunier back in center field in his safety position, almost picked that one off.
Incomplete downfield.
And I think that was Terrence Peters up the field out of the running back spot.
Official timeout. Injury on the field.
Terrence Peters does a great job of just getting his hands up at the last moment to break that football up. And it was one of those plays where the defensive back and the offensive wide receiver almost come down simultaneously with the ball. But nonetheless, I mean, 4th quarter here, Lonnie, 8 minutes to go. I'm not surprised Zappi just decides to take a shot with one of the fastest players on the field, Terrence Peters.
8:07 to go, 2nd and 10 from the 23 for HBU. 2 receivers to the left side of the formation. H-back, Mev Ideen out that way as well. Fake the handoff, and Zappi wants to throw. Looks right now, shovels a pass to Peters, his safety valve, and not much there. He's going to be wrapped up. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that's about it.
There was confusion between Bailey Zappi and Ethan Fry. Bailey wanted to throw the ball on a slant route, but Ethan was on the outside boundary looking to block the cornerback, which forced Bailey to come back and shovel it underneath.
Siniceros out there, goes in motion, left to right, sets up in the slot on the right side. 1 of 3 receivers out that way. Short side of the field is the left side. Terrence Peters shifts from right to left. Now the snap to Zappi. Lofts the pass down. Dennis Houston in single coverage, and Huskies coaches want a flag. Vic Shealy is running up the sideline screaming at the official, but no flag coming. He's in the field judge's ear.
Yeah, Vic Shealy really upset about that call. And now a big punt here from Guzman, standing on his own 9-yard line.
Flags down. We've got movement in the line. I don't know if this is going to go. They didn't stop the play, so you got to think this is on the defense. A short kick, and it's going to be picked up and returned by Bourgeois out across midfield to the 49-yard line.
And
Let's see, Guzman was down. So Christian slow to get up. Is this going to be a roughing the kicker? There may be two separate penalties on this play.
Well, again, each team just trying to make a play. I think we're going to at least have an offside penalty. Whether Guzman got hit or not, that's the question.
The offside penalty wouldn't be enough to give the Huskies a first down.
So 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Offside, number 5, defense. That penalty is declined. Running into the kicker, number 5, defense. That penalty is accepted. 5-yard penalty, replay, fourth down.
Well, because it was not a roughing the kicker, it's not a 15-yard penalty, and so not an automatic first down. So the Huskies will line it up to punt again. But you got to think that perhaps they'll hope to pick up a little extra yardage on this redo. And a wobbly spiral gotten off by Guzman into the wind, you can tell. Fair catch signaled by Bourgeois at the 36-yard line. So the Huskies do get a net 15 yards thanks to that penalty. And here we go. Down under 7 minutes to go now, still looking for a score. This has been the most unusual game. 15 first downs for the Huskies, 13 for Northwestern State. Huskies have rushed for over 108 yards. Northwestern State has thrown for over 200 yards. They've got 275 yards of total offense. The Huskies with just shy of 200 yards of total offense. Turnovers really the story here. 4 lost fumbles by the Huskies, 2 by the Demons. And an interception by HBU. Here's a handoff. It's Chapman from his wingback spot. He's going to take it forward across midfield. Still on his feet, and he's down inside the 45 at the 43. A big gain and a first down for the Demons.
Chapman hit that play on full speed and didn't let off as he turned the corner and got upfield.
First and 10, handed off. It's Jones. Tries to follow the right guard and right tackle, but nothing there. Kyle Bowling, Quentin Peoples, Garrett Dolan, Andre Walker, all right there to make the hit. They'll give him a yard to the 42. It'll be 2nd and 9, and the clock rolls under 6.5 minutes to go.
Well, under 6.5 here in the fourth. You think this may come down to a special teams play, so the field position here, as far as the kicking game goes, really important for both teams.
Holgerson takes a snap, throws, has a receiver. It's Watson again. That's his favorite target tonight. He slips away from an arm tackle, gets across the sticks, and down to the 30-yard line, and that's enough for a first down.
First down and 10.
Well, now do you start to get conservative if you're Northwestern State and try to put it into the hands of your kicker?
Well, with Piccioni coming in at 100%, but 0 for 3 tonight, it looks like they're going to put Fletcher back in and probably try to run the football.
Here he comes on the keeper, runs to his right inside the 25 down to about the 22. That'll be a gain of about 8. Call it a long 2 to go as they rest it between the 23 and 22-yard line on the near hash mark. And with 5:15 and counting, this could be the ball game. Second down and a short 3. Fletcher stays out there, hands it off. Jones up the gut into the second level, and he's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown.
Chris Jones with a touchdown.
Well, do you think the Huskies were expecting Fletcher to keep it there?
Well, Fletcher hands the football out there, but does a tremendous job of carrying out the play fake, and I think caught the Huskies off guard a little bit. And we see the first 6 points of the ball game with 4:55 left in the fourth.
22-yard touchdown run. for Chris Jones, and all our talk about Piccioni now turns to him adding the extra point as the snap is back, the kick is up, and this one is good.
The point is good.
And with just under 5 minutes to go, we've finally got a score on the board. It's Northwestern State 7, HBU nothing. Kickoff to come after this on the Husky Sports Network and the Southland Digital Network.
At Houston Federal Credit Union, we're dedicated to our members, our
At Houston Baptist University, our online classes are designed to mimic those on campus, allowing students to benefit from a program that's rigorous yet flexible. Students have the freedom to be who they are and to never stop learning. Learn more at hbuonline.com.
And back here at Husky Stadium on the campus of HBU, a brisk and cool Saturday night in southwest Houston. And the Huskies are 3 deep across, set to receive this kickoff from Piccioni, who gets a toe into it and drives it back 3 yards deep into the end zone. It is James Brown, or check it, that's Terrence Peters who comes out. He's back on the kick return team, and he carries it up the near sideline, out across the 25, out to about the 29-yard line, and pretty good return by Terrence, and the senior says, hey, we need to do something here.
Well, this is where the head coach, the offensive coordinator, really challenged the offense here. They've been able to move the ball with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. You got to think if you just stay with the game plan and don't turn it over, you could tie this score at 7-7.
4 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Handed off on first down. Not much there. In at running back on first down, it is Peters. Terrence having his best night of the season, but nothing available to him right there. Terrence now has rushed for 62 yards tonight on 20 carries. No gain on that one. 2nd and 10 at the 29. Clock rolls. 4:20 and counting. Zappi, play fake on 2nd down, throws, has Dennis Houston across the 40. Stays in bounds, and he's out to the 41-yard line. That's a 12-yard gain, enough for a first down. They'll move the chains and stop the clock while they do that.
And watch Houston's mindset here. He doesn't want to go out of bounds. He's still trying to. Houston's still trying to make a play there.
HBU would like to thank Firehouse Subs for being a part of.
It's going to come down to one of these players for the Huskies offense just taking it in their own hands and trying to make a play.
Here close to campus. Their sandwiches embody the passion for hearty and flavorful food, heartfelt service.
Well, some of the things we talked about in this pregame tonight was consistency for the offense on the HBU side of the ball. You know, the turnovers notwithstanding, they've been able to stay out on the field for longer periods tonight and give their defense a little bit more of a break.
Yeah, I think you really got to narrow in and zero in on that term consistency, Lonnie, and it's really about putting together one consistent drive right here in the fourth quarter, and it's still going to keep you in this football game.
Well, we've got an injured Demon down on the field, and I did not see the number on that. That may be Deron Littleton. But the training staff for the Demons are taking a look at him, and it is Littleton who is up, and he may have cramped up there. I'm not sure. It looked like they were trying to stretch him out a little bit there. He's a little ginger as he heads to the sideline, but he is heading off under his own power, so that's a good sign. 1st and 10 for the Huskies at the 41-yard line. Houston is split out to the left side of the formation. That's the short side of the field. Fry is out wide to the right side. Hall in the slot that way. And as Littleton finally makes it to the opposite sideline. We're ready to go. IDing the H-back, offset to the right. Running back is Peters. He's off the right shoulder of Zappi as well. Option play, pitch it to Peters. Has a little bit of a hole out across the 40, 50, into Demon territory and down to the 42-yard line. Huge gain.
And look at that explosiveness from Peters just to try to put a dent in the secondary there. That's something that the Husky fans are excited about seeing.
Back to action. Here's a quick pass. Swing it out to the senior Ethan Fry. Makes a catch, turns it, and steps out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Along the far sideline. Quick hitter. Now they pick up the tempo, get right back to the line of scrimmage. Zappi again. Play fake, wants to throw. Fry again, far sideline, makes the catch and immediately ridden out of bounds, but he's got a first down. Well, 3 plays in a row, you've gone to a couple of seniors, Terrence Peters and Ethan Fry, and you talked about somebody stepping up and making a play. It would be fun to watch these seniors do that.
No question about it, and Ethan Fry so consistent, reliable, 2 catches in a row.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. On the Demon side of the field, handed off, Peters into the second level, following his blockers, gets down inside the 25 to about the 24. 5 yards on the gain. Clock rolls, we're under 3 minutes to go now. Peters looks back to the sideline, Zappi and company now line it up. Peters off the left shoulder of his quarterback. Ball in between the hash marks, right in the middle of the field. 2 receivers to the left side, Houston and Hall. Fry alone on the right side. Handed off, Peters again. Hole opens up but closes just as quickly. Making a big hit is Guidry. Peters is dropped after maybe a 1-yard gain down to the 23-yard line. And now you got to keep an eye on the clock if you're HBU. 3rd down and 4, and Tyler Brown, the big tackle for the Huskies, looks like he is in some pain. Grabbing, I believe, his elbow.
It looks like he's going to pop up to his feet there, but certainly holding that left arm, making his way to the sideline.
Well, the Huskies training staff are looking at him. He's trying to explain what he's feeling there. I think the trainers wanted to get him up and off the field. They don't want to break. The Huskies have a little bit of offensive momentum right now, and I don't think they wanted to slow that down. 2:13 to go. This is a big 3rd down play. They need to get inside the 20 to about the 19 from the 23. So 3rd and 4. Zappi will roll out to his right. Looking down the field, has a receiver, Ethan Fry, and he cannot hang on. Just led him a little bit too far at the goal line. And Ethan tried to stretch it out, but it's incomplete.
Well, and that ball carried on Zappi a little bit as he was rolling out to his right. Had Fry at the pylon and just couldn't come up with that. Now, with a minute 53 here, this is pretty much the game, Lonnie, as it's going to be 4th and 3 to go with the freshman quarterback, Bailey Zappi, and the crowd is getting really into this one.
B.J. Kelly is checked in at running back. The Huskies are going to call a timeout. This is a critical play, so they'll talk it over. And we've got a timeout on the field, so let's take a quick breath, catch your breath, and we'll be right back on the Husky Sports Network, Southland Digital Network.
Tammy and I have been going steady since.
Do you find yourself wishing you could improve your life, but don't have time to rush off to class after work? From loved ones at home to life's many responsibilities, it might seem that going back to school is out of the question. HBU Online offers undergraduate and graduate programs that allow you to benefit from the same quality higher education Houston Baptist University has been providing for years. Visit hbuonline.com to learn more.
People are choosing the great taste of Pepsi. Take
Back here at Husky Stadium, 1:53 to go, 4th down for HBU. This is the ball game. Zappi wants to throw, has a receiver, it's caught. Houston down the near sideline, steps out of bounds at the 11, but he's got a first down for HBU, and the drive stays alive.
Maybe one of the biggest plays all year for the Huskies. Bailey Zappi poised in the pocket, and Houston, how big has he been this game to step up and come up with a big play that keeps the Huskies' hopes alive here on this drive.
1st and 10, they can get a first down at the 1-yard line. That's almost a moot point, though. The Huskies need points with 107 seconds to go in regulation. Handed off, B.J. Kelly trying to take it to the short side of the field, the left side of the line, and he's wrapped up for no gain, dropped at the 11-yard line. They're going to have to use a timeout here.
No gain on the play.
Houston Baptist.
And HBU will call a timeout. That'll leave them with 1 now with 95 seconds to go.
And Lonnie, you wouldn't think here, because of the score of this game, HBU's too concerned about time management, getting the ball back after a quick score to the Demons. It's pretty simple. They just need to get in the touchdown and then kick a field goal to tie this thing up, because these offenses have both struggled on consistency, and really for HBU, it's been the theme, a difficult part of the field, that red zone all year long, and to come up with a play here may be the turn of confidence they need to finish out the remainder of this 2017 season.
Yeah, and that's why you don't hurry back to the line after that running play and try to force the issue with so much youth on the offense at the skill positions here. You want to make sure they're all on the same page. So I think a smart move by Vic Shealy and his staff to burn a timeout there, bring it back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10. I'm not sure you need to go with another running play here, though, if you're HBU. Motion from Hall. Zappi wants to throw, flushed out, going to swing it out in the flat. It's Isaiah Hall. He makes the catch, but steps out of bounds at the 10.
Hall is complete.
That's just a 1-yard gain.
The 10-yard line.
That was a check down to Hall, and there just was not much there.
Well, and the Demons are going to remain in man coverage. They are matched up. I mean, this one may come down to some of your best receivers. It's either going to be Houston or Ethan Fry at the top of the numbers to try to isolate one of those receivers and get them one-on-one.
3rd down. Zappi looks over the middle. Flush and sacked in the backfield, back at the 12. And this will bring up 4th down. Zappi thought he might have had a lane there, but the hole closed up as quickly as it had opened.
Dropped for a loss
and
back to the 13-yard
Zappi's in a little bit of pain after taking that hit.
Houston Baptist, their final of the half.
And it looks like Zappi's leg.
That the final home game of the season will be coming up in 2 Saturdays.
He says, I've got one more snap in me, though.
When they play the Lamar
they're going to use their final timeout of the 4th quarter of the 2nd half here, and so comes down to this. We've said this a couple of times on this drive, but this is it right here. 4th down, 10 to go, ball just outside the 11.
And I'm trying to think, if you're the offensive coordinator in this situation, to tie up the ball game with one play remaining in your playbook, who are you going to go with? And it's got to be a pass play.
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned, I think in the previous play, you're thinking Houston, you're thinking Fry on the outside. This is going to be matched up one-on-one coverage on somebody out there, and we'll just have to see what the freshman quarterback Bailey Zappi decides to go with here to try to tie this game up with 1:18 left.
Fry splits out wide side right. Houston down to the left side. Hall in the slot to the left side. B.J. Kelly in the backfield. He'll stay in to block. Here's a throw. Zappi to the corner, and there's a flag in the end zone. Boy, you wondered where that was coming, and no.
And look at the replay here. I mean, no question about it. There's a lot of contact, but it took some time for that flag to come out.
Littleton on the coverage. He never turned around. That's an automatic first down. And because it was in the end zone, it's first and goal from the 2, and the Huskies with a huge break on 4th down there.
Wow. And the Huskies haven't been in this type of position really all year long. A lot of pressure here on first and goal in the 4th quarter to tie this one.
They're going to empty out the backfield. Send Peters in motion. Zappi waggles to his left, throws, has a receiver, corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. Terrence Peters with the catch.
Peters on the reception.
And you know what? For Terrence Peters, the senior, to come up with a big play like that at the pylon, he's been running hard all night. And now Chadwick takes to the field, which is the most important extra point that the Huskies have had all season long.
Partner, you just thought we were going to get out of here early tonight. We're going to overtime maybe. Although there are still 65 seconds left, so you don't count your chickens yet. The extra point attempt is good. Nothing's a sure thing, so you hold your breath, and Alec Chadwick sends it through.
This has been the wildest 7-7 game I have ever seen.
We got a timeout. We'll take a break. Come back for the kickoff after this on the Husky Sports Network and the Southland Digital Network.
Tammy now.
What if I told you there was a school that created classes around your schedule? Houston Baptist University now has online programs that allow you to maintain your current lifestyle while earning the degree you've always wanted. Whether you are completing a degree you started previously or just starting, HBU Online is here to serve you and help you achieve your goals. Head to hbuonline.com to find the program that is right for you.
All across the South, people are choosing the great taste of Pepsi. Take the Pepsi Taste Challenge and let your taste decide.
This is the HBU Husky Sports Network, powered by Legacy Sports.
Back here at Husky Stadium, Lonnie King, Tyler Boyd along with you. We've got a delay of game on the kickoff. Talk about things you've never seen before.
We've almost had a penalty on the band this game. We have a delay of game on the kicker.
And Alec Chadwick had better be careful. The back judge was trying to give him the football to move it back 5 yards, and he kind of turned his back on her and walked away. And you just want to make sure you don't pick up some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct here and wind up kicking from your own 15-yard line. Back him up to the 30, so he's got to get a little extra toe into it, and it's going to come up short. This is returnable. Bourgeois is going to take it back up across midfield. He's still on his feet, out across the 40, 50, into Huskies territory. And Chadwick winds up making the tackle across midfield at the 48.
Wow, that was a costly penalty there for the Huskies. That is something you rarely ever see, is getting backed up from a kickoff because of a delay of game penalty. And now the Demons going to work on their side of the field, and all they've got to work down to is to get inside Piccioni's field goal range.
You got to figure if they can get it, about 20 yards, they're in good shape. Here's Holgerson, has time to throw, but nobody open down the field, and looking for Watson, his favorite target tonight, but it has to throw it away into the sideline. It'll be 2nd and 10, 51 seconds to go.
And you wonder after that penalty if the special teams unit may wanted to regroup to maybe swib that kick, because that made it really returnable. And that's one of the reasons the Demons are close to getting in field goal range.
2nd down. Holgerson again drops the throw, looks near sideline, has a receiver. It's Lazar. Goes to the knees to make the catch. That'll kill the play, but he's got a 1st down at the 36. And they'll move the sticks. The clock never started.
And
wow, they got about a free 7 seconds there. The play clock never started. Here's a pass across the middle, and it's Lazar again down to the 22-yard line. And talk about the opposite of home cooking. Northwestern State basically got a free play there because the game clock did not start after that 2nd down snap, and now the Demons call a timeout with the ball at the 21-yard line. And you've got to think they're in field goal position here. Well, but you can see on our Southland Digital score box there at the bottom of the screen, we've got 20 seconds. The game clock is about 10 seconds behind where it should be. The game clock here in the stadium shows 30 seconds. They never started the clock here in the stadium on the 2nd down snap after the incomplete pass on 1st down. Nobody noticed it from what we can see, and so a free play for the Demons.
Well,
that may be a moot point, but
there has been some odd things in this football game.
Well, now we'll see what.
And I don't know, Lonnie, if you can even go back and review where that game clock should be.
Yeah, I think it's probably too late now. Maybe. Wow. 1st down, though. Here are the Demons at the 21-yard line. And a handoff to Jones. Jones just trying to keep it in the middle of the field, and they're going to try to set up a field goal attempt here. They'll let this clock probably wind down to the final 3 or 4 ticks. There's 1 timeout left in the stadium. It belongs to the Demons. And Jay Thomas is standing right next to the official on the sideline to call it here in about 1 second, and he does with 3 ticks to go.
Timeout, Northwestern State, for 2nd and a half.
Well,
so here are the Demons with a chance to win this one on the final play of the game.
Well, and a little bit of an opportunity for Piccioni and redemption on missing 3 field goals coming into number 4 here. He's going to be lined up for a head-on kick. I mean, they have lined this ball up on that last running play, the Demons, for an ideal kick for Piccioni. Now, if you're HBU, it depends what they decide to do. Try to rush this one from the outside or just drive it up the middle and see if they can get a push there. But of how crazy this game has gone so far, anything can happen here with 3 seconds left and a field goal to win it.
Well, the starting defensive unit is pretty much out there intact on the field. for this extra point, this field goal attempt with 3 seconds to go. Squarely in the center of the field. It'll be a 36-yard attempt. Snap is back. The kick is on the way. It's got the leg, and it is good. And Northwestern State, on the last play of the game, has come into Husky Stadium. And for Piccioni, a little bit of redemption after 3 misses in the first half. He gets the last one to go. Wow.
Just unreal. I mean, just unreal. A great battle between both teams, and you know what? That's a great field goal for Piccioni, but certainly disappointed if you're a Husky fan, as they were so close to pushing this one into overtime.
Well, the Huskies will fall to 1-7 on the season. They're still looking for conference win number 1. They'll be 0-6 going into next week's game over in Thibodaux, Louisiana, against the Nichols Colonels. And the Northwestern State Demons now pick up their second conference win. They go to 2-6 overall and 2-4 in Southland Conference play. For those of you who have joined us tonight on the Southland Digital Network, we say thanks for being a part of this one. As thrilling as you can expect out of a 10-7 game, but these two teams fought it out, went back and forth, and we did not see any scoring until the fourth quarter and well into the fourth quarter. But the Demons go on the road and come away with a 10-7 victory. We'll say so long and thanks for being a part of it. If you're with us on the Husky Sports Network, stay tuned for the Huskies postgame show after this.